The echoes. It was a rainy evening when it happened. I was driving home from work, tired and eager to relax. The road was slick and visibility was poor. Suddenly, a figure darted in front of my car, a deer, perhaps, and I swerved instinctively. The impact was jarring, the world spinning into chaos. Then, darkness enveloped me. I woke up to a dull, persistent beeping. My eyes struggled to open, adjusting to the harsh hospital lights. Tubes snaked around me, and my body felt heavy as if weighted down by invisible chains. Panic surged through me as I realized I couldn't move, couldn't speak. The doctors called it a coma, my mind was awake, but my body remained trapped. Days blurred into weeks. I listened to the chatter of nurses and the hushed tones of worried visitors. Their voices were distant echoes, like whispers in a vast cavern. But amidst the mundane, I began to hear something else, whispers that didn't belong. They murmured in a language I couldn't understand, their presence unsettling. With each passing night, the whispers grew stronger. Shadows flickered at the edge of my vision, shapeless and elusive. They seemed to hover around my bed, observing with malicious intent. I tried to dismiss them as hallucinations, a product of my altered state, but their presence persisted, growing more tangible. My family visited regularly, their faces etched with concern and hope. They spoke to me, recounting their days, and sharing news. But behind their smiles, I sensed their fear. They didn't know about the whispers, the shadows that haunted me. I wanted to warn them, to scream for help, but my voice remained trapped. One night, the whispers took form. Shadows coalesced into a figure, tall, looming, and filled with malice. Its eyes gleamed with a predatory hunger, fixed on me. I felt a chill spread through my veins as it approached, its touch icy and suffocating. Fear clenched my heart as I realized I was not alone in this darkness. Trapped within my mind, I fought against the malevolent presence. Every night, it grew stronger, feeding on my fear and helplessness. I struggled to reach out, to break free from the invisible chains that bound me. But each attempt left me exhausted, drained of strength. In the depths of despair, a faint light appeared. It shimmered like a distant star, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness. The whispers faltered in its presence, retreating into the shadows. A figure emerged from the light, a woman with eyes filled with compassion and determination. She reached out to me, her touch warm and reassuring. The woman in the light became my guide. She spoke to me in soothing tones, urging me to find strength within myself. She warned me of the malevolent presence that sought to consume me, teaching me to shield my thoughts and resist its influence. With her guidance, I began to fight back, reclaiming fragments of control. Desperate for answers, my family sought the help of a renowned medium. Clara arrived with an air of solemnity, her presence commanding respect. She conducted rituals to communicate with the spirits, seeking to understand the source of the malevolence that plagued me. Through her, we learned of a dark entity drawn to comatose souls, feeding on their despair. Clara gathered my family around my bedside, forming a circle of protection. Candles flickered as she invoked the spirits, her voice resonating with ancient incantations. The room grew cold, and I felt a shift in the air. Shadows writhed, voices whispered, and the malevolent presence stirred with anger. Through Clara's guidance, we learned of the entity's origins, a lost soul consumed by bitterness and longing. It had latched onto me, mistaking my weakened state for an opportunity. The woman in the light stood beside Clara, her presence a shield against the darkness. Together, they vowed to free me from its grasp. Clara performed rituals to cleanse the hospital room of negative energy, invoking the power of sacred herbs and crystals. My family joined in, their voices raised in prayer and supplication. The shadows recoiled, their forms dissolving into wisps of darkness. I felt a surge of hope, a flicker of light amidst the lingering gloom. For a brief moment, peace settled over us. The whispers ceased, and the shadows retreated. I could feel the woman's presence more strongly, her guidance steadying my resolve. But the entity was relentless, biding its time in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity to strike back. Night after night, I battled against the entity's onslaught. It twisted my dreams into nightmares, dredging up memories of past fears and regrets. The woman in the light remained steadfast, her voice a beacon of courage and resilience. Together, we fought to reclaim my mind from the abyss. In moments of clarity, the woman revealed her true identity, a guardian spirit tasked with guiding lost souls to the afterlife. She had been drawn to me by my plight, offering solace and protection against the entity's malevolence. Her presence filled me with renewed determination, a resolve to overcome the darkness that threatened to consume me. One fateful night, the entity launched its final assault. Shadows surged, voices roared, and the hospital room trembled with unseen forces. Clara and my family formed a protective circle around me, their faith and determination a bulwark against the entity's fury. The woman in the light stood at the forefront, her gaze unyielding. With a surge of collective energy, Clara and my family confronted the entity head-on. Words of power echoed through the room, banishing the darkness back into the void. The woman in the light shone brighter than ever, her presence a shield against despair. Slowly, the shadows dissipated, leaving behind a sense of peace. As I emerged from the coma, I felt the weight of darkness lift from my shoulders. The hospital room was bathed in warm light, my family's relieved faces were a testament to our shared victory. Clara embraced me, her voice filled with pride and relief. The woman in the light stood beside me, her mission fulfilled. Life after the coma was a journey of healing and rediscovery. The whispers and shadows faded into distant memories, replaced by the warmth of newfound hope. The woman in the light remained by my side, her guidance a constant source of strength. Together, we faced the challenges of a world forever changed by our shared ordeal. The Veil. It was a rainy evening when it happened. I was driving home after a long day at work, tired and eager to get back. The roads were slick with rain, and visibility low. I remember seeing headlights coming towards me too fast. I tried to swerve, but it was too late. The impact sent my car spinning off the road and into darkness. I woke up in a hospital bed, surrounded by the sterile smell of antiseptic and the soft hum of machines. Tubes and wires were attached to me, and I felt disoriented, my body heavy and sluggish. I tried to move, but my limbs wouldn't respond properly. Panic started to rise as I realized something was wrong. Days turned into weeks as I remained trapped in a state between wakefulness and sleep. I could hear voices, doctors discussing my condition, and nurses checking my vitals. But there was something else too, a distant whispering that seemed to come from within my mind. It grew louder at night, filling the darkness with unsettling echoes. One night, as I lay in the quiet of my hospital room, I felt a presence. It was subtle at first, like a gentle breeze brushing against my skin. But then it grew stronger, wrapping around me like a cold embrace. I couldn't see anything, but I knew I wasn't alone. Fear gripped me as the presence lingered, watching and waiting. The whispers became clearer, forming words that echoed in my mind. They spoke of things I couldn't understand, of places beyond the veil of consciousness. I tried to block them out, but they persisted, growing louder and more insistent with each passing night. They seemed to know things about me, things I had never shared with anyone. One night, a figure appeared at the foot of my bed. It was a woman, dressed in white with hair as dark as night. Her eyes were intense, filled with an otherworldly glow. She didn't speak, but her presence radiated a sense of sorrow and longing. I tried to reach out to her, but my hand passed through her as if she were made of mist. As time passed, the hospital room began to change. Shadows moved on their own accord, flickering in and out of existence. Faces appeared on the walls, fleeting glimpses of people I didn't recognize. They stared at me with empty eyes, their mouths moving soundlessly as if trying to speak. In my dreams, I found myself wandering through a dark forest. The trees whispered secrets, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. I felt a presence behind me, urging me to keep moving. Shadows danced at the edges of my vision, and distant cries echoed through the mist. I knew I wasn't alone in this place. Desperate for answers, I sought out a medium named Dr. Marcus, who specialized in paranormal phenomena. He listened to my story with a grave expression, nodding thoughtfully. He agreed to visit me in the hospital, bringing with him an air of calm authority. Dr. Marcus conducted a séance in my hospital room, surrounded by candles and incense. He called out to the spirits, inviting them to communicate. The air grew thick with tension, and I felt a shift in the atmosphere. Shadows gathered in the corners of the room, their presence palpable. Through Dr. Marcus, the spirits spoke. They told us of a rift that had opened during the accident, allowing them to cross over into my world. They were lost souls, trapped between life and death, drawn to me by some unknown connection. They whispered of their regrets and desires, their voices blending into a haunting chorus. Among the spirits, there was one that stood out, a dark presence that lurked in the shadows. It was malevolent, feeding on the fear and despair of the others. Its presence sent chills down my spine, and I could feel its eyes on me even when no one else could see it. Dr. Marcus devised a ritual to banish the dark presence and guide the lost souls back to where they belonged. It involved ancient symbols, chants in forgotten languages, and offerings of herbs and sacred oils. The atmosphere crackled with energy as we prepared for the confrontation. During the ritual, the dark presence manifested itself with terrifying intensity. It lashed out at us, its form twisting and contorting in rage. Dr. Marcus stood firm, his voice unwavering as he commanded it to leave. I could feel the pressure in the room as if a storm was about to break. The battle was fierce and chaotic. Shadows writhed and clawed at us, voices screaming in agony. Dr. Marcus and I fought back with everything we had, calling upon the power of the ritual to strengthen our resolve. The air crackled with energy, and the hospital room seemed to tremble under the strain. As the ritual reached its climax, a blinding light filled the room. The dark presence shrieked and recoiled, its form dissolving into nothingness. The lost souls hesitated, their ethereal forms wavering. Dr. Marcus guided them gently, helping them find peace and guiding them back to the light. With the dark presence banished, the hospital room felt lighter and quieter. The whispers and shadows faded away, leaving behind a sense of peace. Dr. Marcus assured me that the rift had been sealed, and the spirits had moved on. I felt a profound sense of relief, knowing that I had helped them find closure. As I continued to recover in the hospital, I reflected on my experience. The ordeal had changed me in ways I couldn't fully grasp. I felt a deeper connection to the spiritual world, a heightened awareness of the unseen forces that surrounded us. I knew I would never be the same again. Dr. Marcus visited me regularly, checking on my progress and offering guidance. He explained that sometimes, traumatic events could open doors to the unknown, allowing spirits to cross over. I thanked him for his help, grateful for his wisdom and compassion. Eventually, I was discharged from the hospital, eager to start afresh. The memories of the coma and the paranormal activities will always stay with me, a reminder of the thin veil between our world and the next. But I was determined to embrace life with a newfound sense of purpose and understanding. The abyss. It was a rainy evening when it happened. I was driving home from work, tired and eager to get back to my family. The roads were slick, and visibility was poor. Then, a blur of headlights appeared from nowhere, and before I could react, everything went black. I woke up in a hospital bed, disoriented and in pain. Tubes snaked from machines to my body, and a dull ache pulsed through my head. Voices murmured around me, but I couldn't move or speak. Panic set in as I realized I was trapped inside my own body, unable to communicate. Days blurred into weeks as I lay in that hospital room. I could hear everything, the beeping of machines, the footsteps of nurses, the hushed conversations of visitors. But beneath it all, there were other sounds. Whispers, faint and fleeting, like distant echoes in a cave. They spoke in languages I didn't understand, yet they felt strangely familiar. One night, as I drifted between wakefulness and sleep, I saw them. Shadows flitted at the edge of my vision, darker than the darkness itself. They moved with purpose, whispering among themselves in harsh, guttural tones. Fear gripped me as I realized they were not of this world. The shadows became regular visitors. They hovered around my bed, their presence suffocating. I could feel their eyes on me, probing, searching. They whispered secrets from forgotten realms, tales of darkness and despair. I tried to scream, to call for help, but my voice remained trapped within me. Amidst the shadows, there was one figure who stood out, a woman cloaked in light. Her presence brought a sense of calm amidst the chaos. She spoke to me in soothing tones, her words a lifeline in the abyss. She warned me of the shadows' intentions, urging me to resist their influence. I waged a silent battle against the shadows. They grew bolder, their whispers turning into taunts. They tried to lure me into their world, promising forbidden knowledge and power. But the woman in the light remained by my side, shielding me from their malevolent grasp. One night, the shadows breached the barrier between our worlds. They descended upon me with cold, bony fingers, their touch sending icy shivers down my spine. I felt their darkness seeping into my consciousness, threatening to consume me whole. Through the chaos, the woman in the light revealed herself as a spirit guide, a protector from the realm of the living. She explained that the coma had weakened the barrier between worlds, allowing malevolent entities to slip through. The shadows were drawn to my fear and vulnerability, seeking to claim me as their own. Desperate for a solution, my family sought help from a renowned medium, Clara. She arrived with an aura of authority, setting up protective wards and invoking ancient rites. Together, we conducted a ritual to banish the shadows and restore the balance between realms. In the dimly lit room, Clara guided us through a seance. Candles flickered as she called upon benevolent spirits to aid us in our struggle. The air grew thick with energy, and I felt a presence, both comforting and powerful, enveloping me in its protective embrace. As Clara chanted incantations, the shadows manifested with renewed fury. They swirled around us, their voices rising to a crescendo of malice. But Clara stood firm, her voice unwavering, as we fought back against the encroaching darkness. With a final surge of energy, Clara unleashed a burst of pure light. It pierced through the shadows, dispersing them like smoke in the wind. The room vibrated with the force of our collective will, and I felt a weight lift from my chest as the malevolent entities retreated. After the ritual, a sense of peace settled over me. The shadows were gone, their whispers silenced. I could finally rest, free from their haunting presence. Clara assured us that the protective wards would hold, keeping the darkness at bay. As I slowly regained strength, the memories of the ordeal lingered. The woman in the light visited me less frequently, her presence fading as I returned to the realm of the living. I focused on healing, both physically and spiritually, grateful for my family's unwavering support. Leaving the hospital felt like a homecoming. I embraced my family, cherishing each moment with renewed gratitude. The shadows were a distant memory, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Yet, remnants of the shadows lingered in my dreams. They whispered of unfinished business, of promises unfulfilled. I struggled to shake off their influence, haunted by the possibility of their return. I kept a vigil, wary of any signs of the shadows' resurgence. Every flicker of movement, and every unexplained sound sent chills down my spine. I knew the battle wasn't over, and that I had to remain vigilant against unseen forces. In a moment of clarity, I realized that the shadows were not mere malevolent entities. They were echoes of unresolved grief, manifestations of pain and anguish. I had to confront my fears, to acknowledge their existence without succumbing to their darkness. With newfound resolve, I faced the shadows one last time. I called upon the woman in the light, my spirit guide, to guide me through the final confrontation. Together, we banished the shadows to the depths of the abyss, restoring peace and balance to my fractured soul. As I stood at the threshold between worlds, I felt a sense of closure. The coma had been a journey through darkness and light, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. I emerged stronger, and more attuned to the mysteries of the universe. And though the shadows may linger in the periphery, I knew I was no longer afraid.